Hello, fellow person. This is Alexia D. Antoine, licensed professional counselor, personal development author of the Licensed series, and ghostwriter. Welcome to Rocket Fueled Affirmations Formula. This is an amazing formula that I've taken time to build over the course of 4 years and jumped into it from the very beginning out of necessity. So this formula is what helped me go from depressed from ages 15 to 25, being jobless, carless, scared, ashamed, to the turning point where I went on a book binge, learned how to anchor my mind upward on positivity, among other things that we're going to cover today, and created structural changes in my brain that I could feel happening for the better. So this is the same formula that I'll be teaching you today, and it duplicates the very same changes that I went through that took me a month and 18 books to get this, in as little as 1 to 5 minutes at a time. So this is for anyone who has left a goal unfinished, procrastinated, regretting not doing something well within your power to do that could give you a better life experience and overall impact on this earth. If you're a self-starter, even better. If you're a pragmatist, that is just pure gold. So a little more about that turning point. I learned about affirmations from a mentor of mine. Then I created ones that worked for me. I overhauled the process and created my own formula. Essentially, this is what I'm showing you today. And that formula is what came from me essentially dumping rocket fuel on the whole process. So this formula turns a simple optimistic sentence into a hard-hitting target, milestone, and coach rolled into one. So now this formula is what's helped me get to where I am right now, emotionally, mentally healed, promoted at work with a highly competitive resume, negotiating power in the workplace, an offer from the regional director at my job to take the role of program director over an entire office, financial stability, and finally being a car owner, owning my car free and clear. And here today on a courage journey that you're witnessing and are now a part of because you're here. So all of this has come from this formula that I'm showing you that's made up of 5 ingredients. The first one is determining what will make life better for you within your control. So this space here, this one pager, is where you're able to type in your own personal responses. You take your time and think about what that would be for you and come back and change it as much as you need. Ingredient 2 is asking you why this is important to you. Why are those changes that you put for ingredient 1 or those experiences that you put in 1 important to you? Then 3 is where you imagine how your life will look when you can finally have or do what you've typed in the previous ingredient sections. Ingredient 4 is where you imagine already having the life you want to live right now. This is where you get really specific, and this is the fun part where you can put in everything imaginable. You can answer the questions of what are you feeling, what are you tasting, smelling, experiencing, enjoying every day. And then ingredient 5 is where you're broadening this mental picture, continuing what you're doing in ingredient number 4, and keeping track of what you've done already. So it's your checklist. Have fun with this and do as much work as you need to do. So I've offered a free ebook for you. You can download this, go through my very own affirmations that I've created and written. This is one of my books in a series. This is my mirror reflection series, and I'm giving this to you totally free. So dig in, enjoy it, and look through and see what I've done with the affirmations. And you're welcome to contact me at the end of this video. You can talk to me and we can talk about what your vision is, what your goals are, and what your brand is. I also offer editing services, ghostwriting, and I help individuals create their brand copy. So this is what is the rocket fuel on an affirmation. When you're writing an affirmation, it is crucial to make sure that you are taking whatever it is that you've identified you want and you're turning it into a present tense sentence. You're stating them as if it's already existing in the moment. And you're answering those 3 important questions that you've mentioned in ingredients 1 through 3. And most definitely, they need to scare you a little bit. Some affirmations are so major to you, and there's something that is totally life-changing to you because it's important, and you have no idea how it's going to happen. But that's the key. That is why this is so powerful. And then a really cool mechanic of a rocket-fueled affirmation is that it inverts a problem. It essentially turns a problem on its head and erases it almost. Maybe not in reality in the moment, but if you look at it and work with it long enough, watch what happens. So for example, let's say in our box next to us on the affirmation side, if we say that there's a problem such as community members don't ask for what they need and show no optimism about the future, that would be the problem. But if we were to say the flip side of it and turn it into an affirmation, we are taking the problem, flipping it on its head, and essentially saying that there is nothing wrong, there's nothing standing in our way. This is powerful. Now, there is a huge difference between saying we need to problem solve and we also need to turn this into something that we can step over. In this case, in the case of affirmations, this is saying we can overcome this. So it looks like this. An affirmation that has come from an inverted problem will read something like this. I am a thought leader that shows others how to win at life and purpose. As you've noticed, an affirmation is written. This is what helps you track what you're doing, what you're expecting, and over time, over the days, weeks, months, and years, see how you're doing and be able to check in with yourself. This is where the real brain work happens, because when you write something down, it becomes plain, you're able to take it and really take charge with it. They're stored. This is a lifetime practice, ideally, something that you can do all the way through your lifetime. They're revisited. This is how you're able to track and able to check off what has happened for you, and then see what has yet to happen. And this is where your motivation comes from, by being able to look into your journal or your notepad or wherever you store your affirmations and seeing your progress. They're your accountability, for the very reason that you can come back and look at what's checked off, what's still blank. And then they're your cheerleaders. When you see something and you read them to yourself, even if they have yet to happen, just saying them to yourselves or reading them to yourself in your own mind is a jolt of fresh air and a jolt of motivation. Because you're saying the present tense and you're telling yourself this is already the way things are, you come alive from the inside out. They celebrate who you are today as well. Even though we're pressing towards things that we want, never miss the opportunity to celebrate yourself as is right now. So you can always include and sprinkle or have a total page dedicated, or many pages dedicated to celebrating you right now. They grow with you. They are things that you write down based on where you are in life. You can continue to have a reflection on where you are, where you're headed, and where you've already come. Because these grow with you, you can look at what's been checked, what you expect to check, and you can see how your affirmations transform over time. They'll become bigger, they'll become brighter, they'll become bolder. They can take you through life, and they definitely have a checkbox by the side, because that is how you're able to see where you are right now. And of course, when we are turning a goal or a desire into a rocket-fueled affirmation, this is how we do it. So you list what you want. For example, I want to become a more organized person so I can lead a successful life. Nothing wrong with that sentence. It's regular. It says what we want, but at the same time, how do we get there? Here's how. You are saying to yourself that you already are that. But not only that, you take it further and you say what being that person does for you, the benefit. Remember, we are talking about what do I want, why do I want it, and what does it look like when I have it. All three of those ingredients are right here in one sentence, to the right of this arrow, and here is what it says. Each day, I naturally follow a productivity routine that enables me to quadruple my salary/earnings. Bam, right there. We've answered all three ingredients, questions, and that tells us what we are going for. Say that to yourself. Pause. Say that to yourself. How does it feel? To know that you, yes you, are able to follow a routine and be productive by nature. This is saying it's your nature to be productive and organized. And the result is you earn 4 times what you're earning right now. If you're not working, throw a number out there, preferably a good big number, and then multiply it by 4. How does it feel? Does it feel outlandish? Does it feel impossible? Don't worry about that. Keep reading it and read it again. This is what we do with affirmations that are rocket fueled. They are scary, like we've mentioned before, like we've found out today. But that is why we do it. This is why these are rocket fueled affirmations. They jolt the brain. They jolt us on the inside out. They shake us a little bit. But they get results. Now, fast forward a little bit and think about if you woke up tomorrow and opened a book and your notebook, your notepad or journal, and had this written in there. What would it feel like to wake up and see this written about you, by you? You wake up again tomorrow, read this. It's probably still a stretch to your mind to imagine, but it's not as hard as it is today. You can imagine, right? So that's what this is for. This is why we revisit it. So you can take anything and turn it into an affirmation of this caliber. You write down what you want, go through ingredients 1 through 3, and then you take a step towards ingredient number 4 and throw in what you're thinking, feeling, experiencing, glad you did, etc., all the way through. And there you have it. Step 5, ingredient 5, is the cherry on top. Just saying, okay, how many of these did I check off? Or how many of these did I throw into my affirmation? You don't have to have every single one necessarily. Some affirmations call for more, some call for less. That's totally fine. But this is the sweet spot. This is how you get rolling, moving, going. This is why I'm so passionate about affirmations, and this is why I'm honored to share this with you guys, because this changes your life. If you've been depressed, been in a slump, you need different, it starts with writing to yourself, lifting yourself up, encouraging yourself. If we had this in more schools, imagine the confidence and the self-esteem and the changes that kids can bring back to their own homes. Imagine the change that would be running rampant. And it starts with you. It starts with me. So this is what we're doing, and this is why we do it. So I encourage you to take a moment. Here's a space here to write your own affirmations and to have at it. All right. Proud of you. Let's do this. To your success and beyond.